Coming up today on Studio 13 Live, Fast Penny Spirits is here to make some amazing drinks. We'll get the scoop on the inspiring success story behind the woman-owned distillery.
Plus, the director of the Seattle Jewish Film Festival is here to give us the inside scoop on the films being featured. We're giving you a look at the trailers.
Then, we're chatting with actress and comedian Lynn RiceGum about her new episode of Fox's hit show, Accused.
And then, Rachel's Bagels and Burritos joining us in studio to show us how to make some delicious food, plus how their latest fundraiser is helping earthquake victims in Turkey. Studio 13 Live starts right now.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today.
Hello, welcome. So glad you're here with us today. It's going to be an amazing Monday, an amazing week. We're so excited to have you. I'm Carly Henderson.
And I'm Mireya Garcia. And yes, we had a really wonderful weekend. We do want to wish everybody a happy Monday. We have so much to talk about. But we were up to quite a bit this weekend. So I know I visited the Pacific Science Center with my family. We had a really, really great time. Definitely one of my favorite places to hang out with the kiddos. And there you go. Yeah, we're watching some planets there, and Logan cannot skip the butterfly exhibit at the Pacific Science Center. So we had a really great time.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. You're making me want to go there. I haven't been there yet.
So cute.
Is it good for adults too?
I think it's good for
children?
Anybody who is interested in how the world works.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you had a fun time.
Yeah, my weekend was pretty low key. Actually, I have a busy week this week, so it was pretty chill. But I did go out for pizza. You know, after Seattle was named the 4th worst pizza in America, a lot of people tweeted and gave us their recommendations. So I went to one of those spots. I went to this place called Pizzeria 22. And let me just tell you, when I got the pizza at the table, it came with scissors. I have never experienced this before. I clearly documented it because I mean, usually the pizza's either cut or you get a pizza cutter with it, but we got scissors for ours. Have you experienced scissors in pizza?
This is what it's like in my kitchen because I don't have a pizza cutter. I didn't know that's just how some people did it.
That's how the restaurant gives it to you. And same, like the only time that I've ever used scissors on pizza is when I was babysitting when I was like a teenager for these little kids, and I was cutting it into little pieces for them. But I was talking to, some people behind the scenes here, and they were saying, you've never gotten scissor pizza before. Apparently, it's a thing. So
was it good?
It was delicious. It did not change the flavor of the pizza.
Just a little extra fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
All right, well, heads up if you have been blasting Macklemore's new album. He's having a free show tonight.
Yeah, he just tweeted it out this morning. It's at 7 p.m. at Numos. First come, first served. Surprise guests. It's to celebrate the new Ben album. You know, he tweeted, the line starts right now. So if you're interested, be sure to get out to Numos and line up.
Oh my gosh.
He has a lot of features on the album too. I've been just listening to that album nonstop this whole weekend. And he has a lot of guests. So it's anyone's guess who they are.
And you know what? This feels very old school to me, like when you had to stand in line to get in. No Ticketmaster nonsense here. You got to be there.
I know. I kind of want to go to it, but I'm also like, I want to get in if I go and park and everything. Because Capitol Hill's parking is so difficult, but I might see you there. We'll see. We'll see what happens later. Another thing people are buzzing about today is Chris Rock's Netflix special.
Yes, it actually streamed live around the world on Saturday.
You know what people say? They always say, words hurt. That's what they say. Gotta watch what you say, because words hurt. You know, anybody that says words hurt has never been punched in the face.
That was my actual favorite line from the special, personally. You know, he addressed that, of course, infamous Oscar slap nearly a year after the incident. Reviews for the special mixed so far, with some critics praising Rock's clapback and others saying that he just kind of came across as mean. USA Today reviewing it even titled it, Chris Rock becomes a sad old man yelling at clouds in live Netflix special. Wow, that is like some shade. My goodness.
The energy has really changed. Has really changed from how everyone was feeling about this a year ago. I mean, at this point, Chris Rock can say whatever he wants because he was publicly humiliated in his place of work on television at a huge awards show. Like, I'm glad that he waited to do this big special, which I'm sure he got paid very well for, to actually, make some money from the whole thing and say his mind, like, peace of mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I don't know. I mean, like, do I agree with everything Chris Rock says? Absolutely not. I think he can go a little far sometimes. But the reality is that to characterize him as a sad old man screaming at clouds, I mean, that's just not what happened. This is how he's dealing with a very traumatic incident that happened to him. And I think that it's really difficult to judge how we can kind of center ourselves after something like this happens to us. But, definitely got a few good laughs.
Yeah. When I turned it on, I started a little bit late because I didn't realize you had to watch it live at that time. That's the first Netflix live thing I've watched like that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen that before, so it was interesting, certainly. All right, well, after a 4-year break, the Victoria's Secret fashion show making a return.
Yeah, so the plan is for it to look much different, though. The show's set to come back with new branding and a new vision. The company says that it plans to reinforce its commitment to championing women's voices and their unique perspectives. In 2021, the company actually got rid of its supermodel angels in favor of bringing in models of different sizes, like, Seattle's own
Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah.
Yes, I love Megan Rapinoe, and I think that it's really, I would say I would applaud this change. It was a long time coming, so we'll have to see how the show changes, if it really does.
Yeah, I used to love watching the Victoria's Secret fashion show. I love like the costumes and the musical performance. Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, all these great performers were on there. But it was almost like pre-body positivity movement a little bit. And I know even just from like a business perspective, I'm glad Victoria's Secret has chosen to embrace it, considering like Aerie, which is the #2 selling, undergarment brand, is right behind them, and they are fully on like the body positivity movement. Same with Third Love, which is coming right behind them. So like, I'm glad that Victoria's Secret is moving in this direction. I just hope it will actually be implemented into the fashion show because the wording was a little bit vague in this first report. I'm sure they haven't fully figured it out yet, but I did used to really enjoy them. So I hope it'll be better.
I'll be watching. See what we do.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll give our opinions once it airs.
All right. Well, a new cruise making headlines because it's 3 years long. So during the cruise, I know it's so long, but you're not just on the water, right? You get to visit more than 100 countries, which is just wild. So the ship has 400 cabins, which can house 1,100 passengers. And for those who plan to work on this trip, there are 14 office spaces, meeting rooms, and a business center on board. The cruise is going to be costing folks $30,000 a year, but the good news is if you really want to go, the company does offer a payment plan. Now, $30K sounds like a lot of money, but if you can work remotely, it's kind of a good deal.
I guess so. Can you imagine how sick you'd be of like cruise ship food after 3 years? Though? You would definitely have to get like a little hot plate in your little cabin and cook for yourself. And also I feel like your body and mind chemistry would be like permanently altered once you were back on land. You'd be like,
you'd get
hi,
landsick.
good to see you.
Yes.
I feel like it would just feel weird to be back after that.
It would. But there's some people that swear by cruises, so this might just be for you.
I could see being like straight out of college and working remotely and just
That'd
like,
be
I want to
cool.
see as many places as possible. Like get 100 countries on my list. I could see that being really cool. Something else really cool and delicious, Girl Scout cookies. So they are always really popular this time of year. I bought my first box last week. But one cookie is taking this whole thing to a whole new level. So the newest flavor, which is called Raspberry Rally, is an online-only exclusive. It got completely sold out. And if you really want a box, you could possibly find it online, but it's not going to be cheap. This cookie's already being listed on eBay for about up to $180 per box.
What?
Yeah. However, the Girl Scouts organization says not to do this because ordering through third parties defeats the whole purpose of buying the cookies. When you do that, the money doesn't go to support Girl Scout troops themselves.
Have you tried this cookie?
No, because you have to order it online. I didn't know Girl Scouts had online exclusives.
Oh, yeah, girl.
I love the little pop-ups.
High tech now. I used to have to go house to house.
Yeah. Oh, selling them?
Yes.
My parents wouldn't let me go. I was a Girl Scout for Tuesday. They wouldn't let me go to like strangers' houses.
Yeah.
It was
No,
weird.
I was
So
in
didn't
a
have
small
the best
town.
cookie sale.
Yeah, I was in a small town, and I was a Girl Scout for many years.
Were
So yeah, like the neighbors, you know,
Yeah.
like, how many boxes?
Yeah.
But I'm a Thin Mint girl through and through.
Me too.
Yeah.
I feel like I mean, I got really lucky last week because I went outside my front yard and there was literally a Girl Scout standing right there going, "Hi, do you want to buy any cookies?" It was just like, oh,
They
the
sell
universe
themselves.
really worked out.
They
So,
really
got
sell
lots of
themselves.
Thin Mints.
All right, well, it turns out your old cookbooks could be worth a lot of cash these days. So a collection expert says that the value of old cookbooks actually hinges on their historical value. So we're talking about nostalgia, unique recipes, and investment value. So if you're planning on doing any spring cleaning, you might want to do a little research before you just, toss those old cookbooks. But would you really want to sell an old cookbook? Probably if it's a lot of money, but there is some sentimental value there. I don't know. Do you even use cookbooks anymore?
I have a couple
No?
cookbooks. It's really nice to have them, to look at them and think of what you want to make. But
Yeah.
for some reason, I just usually go to online recipes, go to all recipes, and I'll find something. And I have it on my computer.
Yeah.
But kind of would be nice, to
Yeah.
embrace cookbooks a little bit more.
I do have a friend from way back in Oklahoma that actually rummages through antique shops for old cookbooks. So I wonder if she has any winners in her house. Maybe.
Get this. So you might actually be spending more time on your appearance than you think, according to a new study. So researchers found that the average person spends almost 4 hours a day trying to look more attractive. 4 hours a day. So that includes doing makeup, hair, finding the perfect outfit, exercising, taking care of personal hygiene. That's about a quarter of the time that you spend awake. The study polled more than 93,000 people in 93 countries globally. So this is not just like a small slice.
I feel like this is rude though, because exercising and washing yourself should not be counted as trying to look hotter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it depends on your intention in taking that shower or doing that workout class. I don't know. That sounds like a lot. I was trying to kind of add up what mine would be, and I think mine would be 2 hours.
Yeah, I think that
Maybe
sounds
a
about
little
right.
more. Yeah, because I feel like we both have been exercising in the morning before we come to work. I feel like that's more for your mind, definitely for your health. I mean, it'd be nice to look more attractive, but
Who doesn't want
who
to?
doesn't want that? But that's not the sole purpose.
That's all right. Yeah.
We're not that into ourselves.
You know what?
Just a
Spend
little
as
bit.
much time as you want on yourself, girl. Whatever. Still to come on Studio 13 Live, it is time for some top celebrity headlines with TMZ.
Yeah, up next, Harry and Meghan have gotten a very royal invitation. Will they attend King Charles' coronation? Whether or not they plan to go, ahead.
It is time to take a look at what is popping in the world of celebrity news.
And for that, we are bringing in Fabian Garcia from TMZ. Hi.
Hey, good morning, you guys. Thanks for having me again.
Good to see you, as always. Despite canceling his world tour last week, I hear that Justin Bieber actually got on stage and performed over the weekend.
Yeah, it was quite the surprise. This was at Rolling Loud here in Los Angeles. It was a music festival. A lot of big stars came out, including Justin Bieber. He was the surprise guest for Don Toliver, who's a rapper singer. They've collaborated on a few songs. And during one of those tracks, Justin came out on stage, performed, high energy, rocked the crowd, but also raised some eyebrows a little bit too, because as we talked about last week, Justin Bieber has canceled the rest of his world tour, his Justice tour, and without explanation, by the way. He remember, he had paused and postponed dates earlier last year, citing health issues, mental and otherwise, and then just last week, he canceled the rest of it, but didn't actually explain why. A lot of people assumed it was because of mental health reasons, etc. And yet, here he is on stage doing Rolling Loud, looking fine. So fans, I would imagine, of his across the world are probably upset because they're like, wait a minute, if you're going to perform in LA in your backyard, you can't perform for us across the sea. What gives? What's going on? And I think the criticism is warranted. He didn't really offer an explanation, and it's a little weird.
Yeah, that's definitely a weird look. I mean, he could give any explanation and we would be like, oh, it's that reason, but no explanation.
Say
and then
nothing at all.
Doing the opposite is kind of strange.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
it's not great.
it sounds like Harry and Meghan were actually invited to King Charles' coronation in May. Tell us about that.
They were. They officially got the invite from King Charles or Buckingham Palace, one or the other. and their representative over the weekend confirmed that. What the rep said was, we're not going to announce plans on a yes or no at this point. Basically, they're playing their cards close to the vest. And there's kind of some debate about whether they should go, shouldn't they go. And the timing of this invitation being sent out is also strange because, frankly, the latest batch of headlines have been rolling in over these past few weeks. South Park made fun of them. Harry just that same day on Saturday sat down with this therapist for some televised Q&A. He got diagnosed with ADD, PTSD, all this kind of stuff, and he kept continuing to talk about his past and his hate of the Royals, etc. So in light of all that, Charles then sends the invite, which I guess is kind of a power move. I don't really know what to make of it, but it's interesting timing. And it's unclear if they're going to go or not. I would doubt that they don't go. I think it would be wise of them to skip it because they're clearly not on good terms, and it's going to be awkward if they do go.
Yeah, I do think it was a bit of a power move because just before this news came down, we heard that they asked him to vacate one of the cottages that they'd been paying rent on.
That's right. So they were technically evicted, although there's a report out saying that Charles has offered them a replacement, a flat within Buckingham Palace somewhere to kind of make up for it. But yeah, he told them to get out of Frogmore Cottage, which is their go-to place whenever they're in the UK. So again, more awkwardness. It's okay, come to the coronation, but you're not going to stay at Frogmore. It's just very weird vibes. I think Charles has sent the invite to show, hey, I'm going to be the bigger person. Now the ball's in your court to be either spiteful or to take this olive branch.
We'll have to book an Airbnb like the rest of us.
That's right.
All right, Fabian, thank you so much for joining us today.
For sure. Thanks, you guys.
In more entertainment news, the new Seth Rogen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film, Mutant Mayhem, keeps getting better and better. We're getting more information on the cast for this movie. So Jackie Chan is actually going to be voicing Splinter, the mutant rat. Other big names in the film include Post Malone, Ice Cube, Maya Rudolph, and the movie's going to be following the pizza-loving, karate-fighting turtles as they set out to get accepted as normal teenagers. Mutant Mayhem expected to be released later this year, and I know that my husband and my son are going to be particularly excited about this one, but I miss the days, was it the 80s or 90s when they had those rubber turtles?
Yeah,
I like that movie.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they're going to be bringing in scissors to cut their pizza.
It's the cool thing to do now.
You never know. We'll see if it makes it to Ninja Turtles. Okay, let's talk about this because some people might bring a pickup truck or an SUV when they buy something big and they need to get it home. But apparently some people bring unicycles. You heard that right. This man bought a 70-inch TV and decided to take it home on his unicycle. Another customer in the parking lot decided that this needed to be recorded. Thankful for him. And it looks like he's really determined there, biking around with it. Skeptics say that the clip was staged and that the box is empty. What do you think? Is this real or fake?
It's moving a lot, so it might be empty, but even if it is, I'm still impressed.
It's because, I don't know. I think watching him struggle as he's walking at first makes me think it's real because it seems like it is really heavy, but then once he's on there, it seems like it moves too fast to be a really heavy TV, right?
And you know what? Just using a unicycle, you'll get a round of applause from me.
You will. You know what? Once when I lived in New York, when I was in Brooklyn, I was walking around and a guy on a unicycle biked up right next to me and was talking to me.
Like all casual?
Trying to have a conversation, yeah. And I was kind of like, well, I can't walk faster than you can unicycle around, so I don't know what to say here.
Oh, my goodness.
If you can ride a unicycle, you probably just want to show off all the time.
Good for you. Yeah. A man in Nashville thinks that McDonald's has the healthiest burger, and he's actually going viral for this unique attempt at weight loss, eating McDonald's every day for 100 days. We've heard this story before, but this one's a little bit different. So the man says that even though it's primarily fried food, he's found it much easier to practice portion control when the meal sizes are all the same. And he says that more than 10 days in, he claims that he's already lost more than 12 pounds. Okay, I guess consistency is key here.
Interesting. I mean, I think it's all about balancing the rest of your diet, right? Because I feel like the one time I lost the most weight was when I was eating a big burrito every single day, every afternoon, which I feel like now I'm realizing people think is junk food kind of. No. But I was eating a huge burrito every day and I ended up dropping pounds because I would just not be hungry for the rest of the day.
Right.
So I feel like if you're eating these big McDonald's burgers, maybe it's the same thing. You're getting a lot of protein, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
don't
Well,
know.
if it's working for you, my man, good job.
You do you.
Yeah. Huh. All right, coming up, it is the new Fox show everyone is raving about.
Yeah, we're chatting with actress and comedian Lynn RiceGum ahead of this week's new episode of Accused. We'll be right back.
I've been assaulted. I need to know what to do.
Be smart, honey. 2 minutes of hell for the opportunity of a lifetime.
Will ruin both of our lives.
Move on.
Stop him before he hurts other women.
Don't you see that she's messing with your head?
I have to stop letting them get away with it.
That is a promo for this week's all-new episode of Accused on Fox. The show starts off each episode in a courtroom, but viewers have no idea what the crime was or why this person is in court. Joining us to talk about this week's episode, one of the stars, Lynn RiceGum. Hi, how are you today?
Hi, good morning. Happy to be here
Yes.
to talk about The Accused on Fox.
Yes, so the show really gets into a moral gray area at times. Did you know it was going to be as intense as it is?
Oh, yeah, I read the script and I thought, wow, this is one of the best things I've read in a while. And each episode is based on a single court case. And you see it through the defendant's eyes. And when the show starts, you're not really sure what's happening, and it's told through flashbacks. And you get to see the emotional, psychological state of the person that's accused. And because it's told through flashbacks and sort of being revealed in different pieces, as the viewer, you're questioning the whole way through, like, wait a second, was that person in the right? You know, do they have a point? And so it really breaks down how these crimes are committed and how your life can change with one impulsive decision. And it takes on some really heavy topics that are, could seem black and white, but then become very morally ambiguous. So it's a real ride to watch. And each one is just fantastic.
Yeah, and I know you star alongside Whitney Cummings in Accused, and you've known her for a little while, right? So you did her podcast. How was kind of working together on this episode?
It was great. It was so much fun because I've known her for years, but it's one of those things where we've never gotten to work together. And usually when I see her, it's in passing at comedy clubs. And that's, we can be like that as performers where it's like, oh, let's hang out, but then we're podcasting, or, oh, let's get to see each other. But then the only way we get to see each other is doing an episode together. But she is so fantastic in this episode. I'm so happy for her that she's getting to tackle this dramatic role and just doing it really, really well. Because the show is based around her. She actually, her character is a comic, and she's taken advantage of by another comic, and it just unfolds from there and kind of tackles that whole issue that has been in the news a lot. And it's something that's close to both her and I because we're both comedians.
For sure. And obviously, like you said, you guys are covering such intense topics. What was the kind of the vibe behind the scenes on set? Was it still fun and light when they cut, or did it stay kind of intense throughout the whole time?
It's kind of like, and this is something I've experienced a lot, especially back in the day when I was on 24. It's kind of like laughing at a funeral because the subject matter is so heavy. This used to happen on 24 too, because when you're on camera and you're in the scene, things are so intense and there's so much gravity to it that it's almost like when they yell cut, we're all kind of laughing in a way. You're sort of laughing while you're crying. So it's a real roller coaster ride, but we had a lot of fun and laughed a lot for sure in between every take.
That seems like it could be really cathartic. I also have to say, I love the title of your book, Famish, which is just like so wonderfully self-deprecating. But I want to know, what was the moment that you kind of first felt like you made it in your career? Because you've had a really cool career.
Yeah, I'm really looking back on it. I had a really charmed life. Like in the mid 90s, I was getting all sorts of bit parts in sitcoms because I was in LA in the sort of LA local comedy scene. And then my first drama was on 24, which was such a monumental show that kind of changed the face of television. And I entered onto that show when it was already really, really popular and it was a big deal. And so I had to kind of hit the ground running, and I got to learn while being on the job. And that just really was, it still took me a good, 3 or 4 years of being on that show where I could take an exhale and go, okay, I guess I'm a professional actor now,
I could see that for sure. Mary Lynn RiceGum, thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Of course. I hope you like The Accused.
Yes. Be sure to check it out, everybody. You can catch an all-new episode of Accused March 7th at 9 p.m. right here on Fox 13. Okay, coming up, Fast Penny Spirits, a woman-owned distillery committed to sustainability, is stopping by to make some incredible drinks. We'll be right back.
It is time for Seattle Sips, where we check out some amazing drinks in our area.
And today we are joined by Jamie Hunt with Fast Penny Spirits. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in. So Fast Penny Spirits, it's a woman-owned Amaro distillery. Can you tell us what Amaro is and what kind of spirits you guys produce?
Yes, absolutely. So Amaro just means bitter in Italian, and it's an Italian bittersweet liqueur that's fun to sip on neat on its own or in some cocktails, which I'm going to show you today.
All right. So what flavors can people expect if they've never had this before?
So with our Marcano Bianca, this one, it's a little more candied lemon, saffron, which is grown in Washington State, and a little bit of a bitter dandelion finish, a little bit of chamomile, so some floral notes. And with the Americano, we have a little bit more of the black truffle that's foraged by dogs here in the Pacific Northwest. Rainier cherry and cocoa nibs, which we get from Theo's.
That's a lot of good flavors. A lot of good places here. And I love that the dogs are involved in finding the truffles.
We love that too.
What are we making today?
We are making a Bianca Spritz and an Americano Manhattan, which is a black Manhattan. So just switching out vermouth for Amaro.
Cool. Beautiful. Let's get started.
All right.
So while you're working, why don't you tell us a little bit about the quality of the ingredients, why that's so important to you?
Yeah, so we use all sustainable ingredients, organic or wild crafted. We make our product in a upcycled grape-based spirit. We are a B Corp, so it's really important for us to be good to the planet and good to people.
That's great. Yeah, I know you guys are really committed to sustainability. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we think about sustainability in a variety of ways, whether it's where we're sourcing our products or whether it's what we do in our distillery, what processes we use. We use like electric forklifts and things like that. So we really try to think about it throughout all of our
the whole process. Yeah, I didn't know they made electric forklifts. That's very neat. And I don't know if we can get a shot of this, but you guys have won so many awards. Talk to me about how you've been recognized.
Yeah, so we have been very fortunate to get recognized by the Americano over there got the top 100 spirits in 2021 by Wine Enthusiast. And then our Americano Bianca received Best Liqueur of the Year and Best in Category.
Award-winning.
Yeah,
I love
for
it.
2022. So
I love it. You have a little Topo Chico in this too.
Yeah, a little extra fizz.
Yeah. Does this just run in your blood?
I know. It's like my actual blood. Yes. I love me Topo Chico. Oh, wow. Okay, so remind me what this drink is called again.
This is the Bianca Spritz. So it's really pretty simple, low ABV, easy to do for guests. One of the things we like to stress is just how simple it is to entertain with our products. So.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it looks beautiful.
This is gorgeous.
And you can do whatever citrus peel you would like or a slice. I like slices.
Cheers.
Oh, so good.
Refreshing.
So light too.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful drink.
It's almost like good in the summer, good in the winter.
Yeah, I can
Spring
really
or
see
fall.
that. All right. Now, the next drink, is it going to be like a little deeper, a little more intense? All right.
So I batch this in one of our bottles that you can just reuse and you can put in the fridge. If you batch it ahead of time, that's really fun. When people come over, you're not spending all that time making cocktails, you get to interact. Cool. So this has Woodinville rye whiskey in it, our Americano Rosa, and some Scrappy's bitters. as
Fun.
well.
That's a good combo.
I like that you keep it local too. The
Yes.
Woodinville name
Yeah.
and everything is great.
Wonderful. So this is just really great because it doesn't impact the flavor at all to batch it like that.
It does not, no.
Wonderful.
It's quite lovely. What I would say though is you do want to stir it over ice because that just livens it all up and gives it the proper dilution.
That's great. And I see some cocktail kits over here too. That's pretty awesome. Tell us about those.
So we have lots of cocktail kits for gifting, really easy idea and pretty fun. We got a lot of really great feedback on them. The unboxing experience.
Yes. I do love a good unboxing. Wonderful. Great gift for a host, I think.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
anyone in your
And
life.
for Mother's and Father's Day.
Absolutely. Yes. My goodness.
Grad gifts if they're graduating from college.
Yeah. Very good.
I love that you've worked with Yonder Cider too, and that specific drink is like my favorite cider that there is, Velvet Cashmere.
It is so delicious. Her stuff is so incredible. Really happy to have been able to partner with Caitlin and her team.
All right. What are we doing here now?
We are just going to pour out a little bit of this.
Beautiful.
I made them slightly less just so
yes.
they're a little easier to
It is
transport.
early in the day.
So we have the cocktail that was already batched. They just squeeze a little lemon, or not lemon, orange peel.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
wonderful.
want lemon, you can do lemon.
Do whatever
but-
you want. Yeah.
you like.
But we usually do orange.
Nice. So what's the flavor we're going to get here?
Well, it's a Manhattan, but it's like a richer,
Yes.
darker tasting.
Ooh. So, okay, this one gives me summertime.
Yeah.
This is like cozy in the winter.
Sitting by a bookcase
Yeah.
in a
Oh.
nice plush chair.
I love it. That's the vibe. Oh,
So good.
Delicious. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
So fun.
And we do have the drink recipes listed on our website, fox13seattle.com/Studio13Live. Thanks again. Thank you. Coming up on Studio 13 Live, the director for the Seattle Jewish Film Festival is here.
Yeah, she's talking all about the upcoming festival, including some of the films being featured right after the break.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile.
The 28th Annual Seattle Jewish Film Festival kicking off March 11th, offering in-person and virtual programs, community conversations, special events, offering food, music, and special guests.
Yes, and joining us in studio today is the director of the festival, Pamela, Lovett. Thank you so much for being here today.
It's so great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are doing such cool things. So the festival I know runs from March 11th through the 26th. Tell us all about the venue and kind of what goes into preparing for it.
Oh, absolutely. So obviously coming out of COVID, we've had to do both virtual and in person. So what we do is we emphasize in-person experiences, AMC Pacific Place downtown, longtime venue. We literally take over the whole theater for a big brunch event so people can socialize and eat food together. And then on weekends, we're also at our theater. We have the only cinema on Mercer Island at the Strom Jewish Community Center. So we have another venue. And midweek, you can just stay home, put your kids to bed, have a date night and watch the film anytime you want in midweek.
That's wonderful.
awesome.
Now, I know it's impossible to pick, but you have to tell me, what is your favorite part about this whole thing?
As someone who just loves to show the diversity of the Jewish community, and here in Seattle, we have the third largest Sephardic population, people from Turkey and Rhodes. Not many people know that. It's very unique to our country. And so we often emphasize films from Spain or films about that. So the Sephardic Spotlight, which is the Jews that came out of Spain, Alegria is one of the most amazing women-centered films. I love that film. And then our brunch film about Marcel Marceau. I mean, everyone grew up with Marcel Marceau as the iconic quiet mime, but this is a revelatory film about his family, about being a Holocaust survivor and saving children in Switzerland. Not many things you know from a silent mime.
Absolutely. And why is this festival so meaningful to the Seattle region in particular?
Well, the Seattle region, as I mentioned, is unique in the fact that we also are not New York, we're not LA, and yet we have this small, incredibly robust and powerful Jewish community. But also we use the film festival as a way of getting involved with the independent cinema community. Film lovers just want to come to great independent cinema. So the festival both highlights the representation of the Jewish community here. As I always say, we can't can't throw a bagel and hit many other Jewish community members, whereas in New York or LA you probably could. And so I think it's just both about creating a deep sense of identity, fighting intolerance and anti-Semitism in our community, and also highlighting the uniqueness of the region. There are Jews that went to Alaska and killed caribou in their backyards and were pioneers, unlike those stories from most other places of immigrants that came through Ellis Island. So we highlight some of the unique parts of the Seattle region throughout the festival.
Now, one of the things that I'm really excited about here is the opening night feature karaoke, which was nominated for 13 Israeli Academy Awards. Tell us about this.
So, first of all, it was my birthday the other day, and I brought everybody to karaoke because it has become not only a super trend, we love the fact that Israeli cinema is producing things that are really just about the human story. And this is a unique also a program and event because we have layered experiences. You get to come and have truffle popcorn and drink mocktails, because we can't do the cocktails, at AMC Pacific Place, and then do karaoke after. But the film itself is really a film by the director about the director's parents, and he looked at them and saw that they were getting into their 60s and sort of slowing down in their interest in the outside world, and then they meet this dynamic person in their building and start doing karaoke and have a life transformation. So it's really a story of you can always transform your life no matter how old you are, and if karaoke is the way you do it, come and sing with us, please.
Absolutely. That's a great message. We were just talking about how we're going to do karaoke together in May with our whole team. So,
and I would also just say that the actor Sasan Gabai was just here at the Paramount Theater in the band's visit. He made that film an incredible national. I think it was the Academy Award nominee from Israel, and then he wound up here at the Paramount Theater and touring it throughout the country. So he is a gem of Israeli cinema, and we do have an interview with him that we'll put online for everyone.
Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah. And you touched on this a little bit, but the animated feature, My Father's Secret, it's a really good option for teens, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Talk about that.
It's not easy to sort of curate a film festival with teen programming, but we love partnering with Teen Tix, so people can come for $5 and bring their teen, or if you come with an adult, you can get a half-price teen ticket. And it's an animated feature based on a graphic novel called Second Generation. And I think telling the story of the Holocaust through animation has been one of the main means of teaching young people in a way that they can see the story, they can identify with the characters, and it's beautifully, beautifully done. I think the producer was from Persepolis, which was an incredible animated film. So I think if you bring your teens down, I think it's going to be an important film, or you can watch it from home.
Yeah, you sold me on that. That looks like a great one to check out.
And Elliot Gould is is one of the lead characters of the Holocaust survivor.
Now, I think that often when we have things like this, where it says Jewish, people think, oh, it's only for the Jewish community. So talk to me about who would benefit from coming and what they should be expecting.
Sure. Well, I mean, first of all, we're a secular, non-ideological festival. And as I said, we're one of the longest running international film festivals in the city, and many of these films have been nominated for Academy Awards, have won Academy Awards. So just know that we are a film, cinematic, cinephile festival first, but I think it is our way of making sure that we have mutual understanding in our community. Also that there are many people that don't feel identified with their own history, and it keeps that history alive, and it keeps families transmitting that information to each other, whether it's about Sephardic history, Holocaust history, or just, Marcel Marceau and what was behind the mask. I think we have a beautiful opportunity to shine. Also, Israel is a complicated place, and so creating deeper understanding around that country and its diversity, whether it's Ethiopian Jewry or folks that are just a rom-com by a comedian, I think that we have something to keep Israel within the community's conversation as well, so that there's more understanding around it.
Well, it was beautiful to chat with you today. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, we do have more information about the festival, including where to buy tickets, on our website, fox13seattle.com/Studio13Live.
Yes, we'll see you soon.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, coming up, we are learning how to make delicious bagel sandwiches with Rachel's Bagels and Burritos.
See how they raise thousands of dollars in relief efforts for Turkey with their recent fundraiser. We'll be right back.
It is time for Emerald Eats, where we highlight amazing food in our area.
Yes, today we are joined by Paul Osher with Rachel's Bagels and Burritos. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, it's really nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for bringing us bagels.
It smells so good in here, yes. So Rachel's Bagels and Burritos used to be a brunch spot called Pork Chop, but talk to us about the change.
We had been planning to open a bagel shop in 2020 at the and we had spent a few months kind of negotiating a lease and getting everything together for the bagel shop. We were all set to sign the lease the week that the shutdown happened. And basically, if their lawyer hadn't gone on vacation the week before, we would have signed it. So we had been kind of thinking about bagels and excited about bagels before. Shutdown happened. We said, well, let's just start doing this here at the restaurant, and let's see how it goes. About a year later, we decided we really liked what we were doing and just wanted to keep doing that. Instead of kind of going back to what we used to do.
Wow. Well, it seems like you made a good choice. How did it kind of all start, and who inspired the idea?
My wife inspired the idea.
Rachel?
Rachel.
The famous Rachel?
Her name is actually Raquel. So pretty close, but not exactly the same. She, about 5 years ago, suggested that we start making bagels. And, we thought, okay, we'll play around, we'll see. And pretty soon it became an obsession, and I couldn't stop making them. And not too long after that, we started saying, yeah, maybe we should really spin something off and do this for real.
That is so exciting. So tell us a little bit about the menu items and the ingredients you choose.
The menu items are all kind of based on things that we all like to eat. So it's kind of an eclectic menu for a bagel shop, but I'm really proud of the menu that we've put together. Everything, we really try to maximize flavor and make sure that everybody kind of walks away feeling like they had a great meal and that everything was as delicious as it could be.
Well, you're making me hungry.
Yes.
So let's get started
Let's
making
do
these.
this.
So the first sandwich that we're going to make is called the Nick and Nora. It's vegetarian. It's got a little kick from the chili oil, but it's not too spicy. This is something that I like to eat at home a lot on our days off. So this is, near and dear to my heart.
I love that when the person making the food says, I eat this at home.
Yeah, exactly. I grew up eating a lot of bagels, so I'm from the Midwest, so everything was covered in cream cheese. I'm very
a couple inches thick.
I like creamy things. So we're going to start with our everything bagel on this one, and we're just going to use plain cream cheese.
Love it.
At the restaurant, we do toast the bagels for our bagel sandwiches, but it's kind of hard to lug around a toaster. So we'll just imagine.
What do you think makes a really good bagel?
Flavor and the chew. I think what makes bagels unique and different from bread is that they do have that chewy texture that you don't necessarily get in a good piece of bread. The crumb is a little tighter. It's not as open as you would see in a beautiful baguette or sourdough loaf. And it's great for topping. So that's our, a little bit of guacamole on top of that for a little more flavor. And then we'll just put a little bit of chili oil on there.
I bet it was really fun taste testing all these different
I know, this looks amazing.
It's been great.
If you ever want our help.
I will give you guys a call. You guys are ready. So that's the first one.
Beautiful.
Great.
What's next?
Second one is the Rosie and Phil. This is named after my neighbor, Phil, and his really adorable little chihuahua, Rosie. So
the people in your life must feel so special.
I hope so. I'm really lucky to know a lot of great people.
Yeah.
And Phil has a farm. So the first version of this menu was actually made to feature his pears. So
that's awesome.
we start off with a little bit of truffle cream cheese. So it's kind of earthy and dark and delicious.
We had truffle in beverage form.
I
Now
know.
we get to eat it.
It's very
That's right, with the
truffle day.
Americano.
I love
Yeah.
it.
It's it's a good day for truffles.
I was trying to think of a truffle pun.
I guess most
No,
are.
none right off
Thank
the top.
goodness, girl.
So we're gonna put that.
It hasn't been a truff day.
Oh,
Hey, you're supposed to laugh.
I'm impressed.
That was
more
Alma
over
Bish, our
here.
executive producer. She said it in my ear.
And then these are pears that are roasted off with a little bit of butter and a little bit of garlic honey.
That looks so good.
What an interesting combination. It sounds delicious.
Yeah, they're rich and sweet, and you get a little bit of everything.
And
on
so
the
your
sandwich.
neighbor still makes the pears?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yes, he still grows the pears. We pretty quickly went through the pears that he gave us.
Sure, of course.
These are from Eastern Washington as well, but they are not Phil's pears.
Yeah.
But inspired by Phil.
Inspired by Phil nonetheless.
And Rosie.
Now, while you're working, tell us
yes.
about the fundraiser last week to raise relief funds for Turkey after that devastating earthquake.
We were very fortunate. My kitchen manager is Turkish. So right after the earthquake hit, we started talking about ways to kind of raise money for relief efforts.
Wow.
This, by the way, is a little bit of garlic honey.
Ooh, I'm so excited to eat this, girl. You have no idea.
I've never heard of garlic honey.
We ferment the honey with garlic for a month, so it really kind of picks up all this flavor.
And you also make breakfast burritos. I hear they're over a pound each.
They are a pound each. They will get you through the day.
Wow. And vegetarian too?
And yeah, oh yes,
Yeah.
oh yes, for sure.
That's great.
Now we do have about a minute, so let's try what we have while you work on this third option, and you can talk to us about it a little bit.
This final one is the Nino art, named after my wife's uncle. He came up from California a few years ago and just fell in love with the lox. Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
And
I love guacamole and cream cheese together.
so we put together this sandwich as a tribute to Art and how moved he was by the delicious fish that we have up here.
And there's nothing like a good lox bagel, really.
There really isn't.
This is so fresh tasting too.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So we only use wild lox from the Pacific Northwest. We really are so blessed to have this product up here.
I love it.
And so I'm going to put a little bit of that on.
Beautiful.
Some pickled jalapenos.
Ooh, making it excellent over there. Well, we do have about 5 seconds, so you'll see the finished products on Instagram.
Yeah, Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's been so fun to be here.
Come back anytime.
Will do.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Take you another mile. Don't